come from? Where did that come from? That worked.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah.
That worked. Hello and welcome back to the Week in Review with me, Jacob's Toys, and of course the wonderful one and only Super Sorrel. Obviously, if you're enjoying the show, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all of those things, and check out the links in the description below. If you are listening to podcast, again, check out the links in the description and do give us a follow on the various other channels. So Sorrel, good week.
Oh, yeah, really good week actually. A really exciting week.
There's quite a few bits out and about. TV wise, there wasn't a lot going on. Obviously, we got the Bad Batch. But with Loki obviously finishing, they've not kind of started anything new. We've got the What If series starting up soon, haven't we?
Yeah, about another week's time, is it?
I think August 11th. I think I've got in my head for something.
Weeks away. Yeah,
maybe. I mean, don't quote me on that. That's the date that pops into my head. Should we start off with Bad Batch and then get into all the figure stuff afterwards?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this week. I did. I thought it was kind of a filler episode.
Definitely.
But at the same time, there was enough about it to enjoy it. I mean, I love the fact that Sid, isn't it?
Sid, yeah.
Character, she was kind of right up at the front, wasn't she? It was all about her. And I quite enjoyed that. I quite enjoyed her character. She's good fun, I think.
Stealing a shipment of spice.
Yes, yeah.
Space drugs.
But she had a real, it was a real relationship with the guys, wasn't it? Like the Bad Batch. Like they... there was a lot of back and forth, and especially with Wrecker, she's calling him all sorts of nicknames and that one. So, but I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, it was all right. It was, like I say, it was a bit of a fillery one, especially after the last couple of episodes we've had, which I thought were pretty decent, where we've obviously had some of the backstories and stuff of Hera and stuff. Then we got this one, which then feels like a letdown by comparison to me. But it wasn't a bad episode. It was just a bit more lackluster than I would have liked.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one that you're going to necessarily remember, in a year or so's time, or whatever. But
it's episodes like this that I wish they would trim down a little bit. They could have trimmed down the series and made it more fast paced and thingy by trimming these little things out. But because I don't think this is going to have any, other than the fact we would have introduced this new character, other than the fact that Sid's around. Yeah, I think that's the only thing we've got out of that episode, really.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I mean, episodes like this always feel like they're kind of trying to make it last 28 minutes or whatever. Whereas obviously the fast paced ones, like with the Hera one, for example, it spread over 2 episodes, didn't it? Yeah. Whereas this one, it felt like it was a little bit more drawn out, and I didn't notice any kind of Easter eggy bits or anything like that. There wasn't, I'm sure that they were there, and obviously if anyone did notice them, I'm sure they'll let us know. But there was nothing that jumped out to me, but I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm still enjoying it as a series. I'm pleased that it's on. I can't complain.
Yeah, and I mean, we're coming up to episode 14, and then all the listings that I've looked at on the internet don't have anything past 14, so it's like it stops here for. I'm not sure if we're having a mid-season hiatus or something. Like,
right.
Like I know that how they produce things in America, they kind of have that mid-season thing, don't they? Yeah. So I'm wondering whether this is going to be like a mid-season little drop-off for a few weeks, and then we'll see it come back with a little trailer and stuff on the internet.
I won't mind as long as there's some kind of teaser, like they usually drop a teaser trailer, don't they? Or like a mid-season trailer, because hopefully we'll see a hint or two towards some other characters. Because as far as I can think, all the characters that we were kind of talking about, or that people were talking about coming up in Bad Batch, we've seen, haven't we? So hopefully we'll get a mid-season trailer, and it will tease kind of Ahsoka or someone, or Maul. Come on, give us more. I just want Darth Maul. Put Darth Maul in everything, and I'll be happy. So,
so yeah, I'm touching again and again. Episode 15 is where everything kind of stops. Right. On the 6th of August, there's no listings past episode 15.
Oh, right.
Weird.
Yeah. Well, maybe we are coming up to that mid-season break, like you say. But it will tie in nicely with What If. Obviously, we'll over on the Marvel front, we'll have that.
I wonder if that's what it is. I mean, I don't think What If is going to be that long a series, is it?
No. I mean, there's a handful of episodes that they have teased. So obviously like the T'Challa Star Lord and the Gamora Titan, obviously the Peggy Cap. There's the Spider Doctor Strange, I believe. But from the trailers, it looks like Doctor Strange is kind of weaved in the series. Yeah, and I don't know whether that's just the way that they've cut the trailers, or it's going to be kind of almost like a prequel to the Doctor Strange film or lead into it. I don't know.
It'd be cool if it had more of a consequence to what's going to happen next. If it's almost that he's got the stone back and he's kind of exploring different universes with the idea of time change and things. That could be cool.
That would be cool. One thing I'm really hoping, and I didn't think about it until obviously Loki had concluded, but I really, when they first announced this, I just kind of assumed, like with the comic books, they've got those random kind of one-shot what-if storylines, like what if Spider-Man became the Punisher was one of my favourite ones. And I just assumed that it was going to be sort of however many episodes similar to that, just completely random, bonkers, stories that, just the what if as such. But now that Loki's concluded, I wonder whether this is going to be branch timelines and we're going to kind of see, because of that Doctor Strange element of him kind of weaving in and out, whether we're going to see something along the lines of these alternate realities and these branch timelines. And then it will obviously lead in, because it's a brilliant opportunity for him to continue the momentum of this whole, the multiverse.
Definitely.
While we're on the subject of that, I suppose, one of the cool things that I did see this week, I don't know if you saw it, but somebody on the internet, and I can't credit them because there were so many people sharing it, I'm not sure where it originated, but somebody worked out that the last episode of WandaVision and the last episode of Loki synced up. Did you see this?
No, how?
Yeah, so it's something around, I think, if memory serves me right, the 27-minute mark or something like this. And it's that bit where He Who Remains kind of says the bit about we've now crossed the threshold. And that part syncs up with when Scarlet Witch takes on the form of Scarlet Witch, and somebody has spliced the two together, and it is literally to the second she's kind of turning into the Scarlet Witch and he's doing the whole kind of looking around, and it's really clever. And it might be a completely bonkers coincidence or some really, really clever editing by Marvel. But either way, it's cool. Go and check it out afterwards. I mean, there's loads of people sharing it as a clip, but it was definitely...
And especially since we now know that they edited that ending, and that was that weird spectacle shape heading towards Wanda's cabin.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it in the end?
Yeah. I ended up getting to watch it.
It's weird though, isn't it?
It is very weird.
I think it's just a glitch. I don't think there was anything in it. I don't think that there was anything that we were supposed to see. I think it was just and the guys at Marvel were just going to leave it. They're not going to, internet goes mad and people start talking, and they're just going to leave it in and let us all speculate, aren't they? So, but that was the cool thing that I picked up this week, and it was quite cool. I think I originally saw it on something like TikTok or something like that, on one of these really random apps that I was kind of like, oh wow, look at this. Because there's some guys over on TikTok that share some incredible content. But yeah, I think that was it for TV, really. Anything else take your fancy?
The only other big thing that happened this week, obviously, was the return of He-Man on Netflix, which has been met with a lot of criticism. I've not personally watched it yet.
Neither have I.
So maybe that's the job for the next week or two.
I am. You know what? I put it off purposely because there are a couple of other shows that I've been watching and stuff, and I thought, I'm going to leave it and give it a couple of weeks and get a couple of episodes to just kind of watch in a bunch. But yeah, maybe if we catch up on it before next week and we'll have a chat. But yeah, the criticism has been varied, hasn't it?
Which it strikes me though, because Kevin Smith is a well-liked guy, and his writing is pretty decent, and he wrote in comic books, and he's quite an established guy in the industry. So for him to upset this many people, I'm like, I wonder if it's deliberate, if he's doing something, he's planning something for season 2 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, He-Man for me is it's right in the nostalgia. Do you know what I mean? It hits you right in the nostalgia. And He-Man, if I honestly think back, comic books and superheroes were always there, but I have a really fond memory of He-Man and Thundercats for a particular age. And it probably wasn't a huge amount of time in reality, but for a certain period of my childhood, they were the two cartoons, those hugely muscly men in pants. that was my childhood. So I don't know. I just, the He-Man cartoon, it's very simple. It's very simplistic, and I think for me that was the beauty of it. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't any kind of underlying storylines. It really was what you saw. You know, what you saw is what you got, kind of thing. And I think, I don't know. I think that I don't know how clever they've tried to be with this, or whether there's too much to think about. But I think if there is too much to think about, that for me wouldn't be He-Man. So, does that make sense?
Yeah. I've already told everyone that I know that if Prince Adam doesn't come up at the end of every episode and says, "In today's lesson, we learned all about," if I don't get that, I'm not watching it.
even just as a teaser, something like that, it's got to be in it, hasn't it? I recently went back and watched a lot of the old He-Man, actually, a couple of years back, and I really enjoyed it, and She-Ra as well. Like there was that huge crossover, wasn't there? Like I don't know if you remember, and I really enjoyed it. And but they haven't. Because there was talk of a new film, wasn't there? Like there was obviously the one that came out in, I want to say 89, 88, maybe even earlier. Yeah, Dolph Lundgren. And I loved that. Obviously, it was nothing like the source material. It's completely different. It was like they were trying to be too spacey. I don't know, but I loved it for what it was. And there was talk of a new He-Man film, and I don't know where they are with that. But
I don't think that ever took off. But I know that they kind of redid She-Ra a few years back for a new age, for a new audience.
Yes, they did, didn't they?
Because I know my little ones watched some of them because they were quite accessible to her age. So I've gone back and shown her some of the old He-Mans, and she's like, "No, this is rubbish.
This isn't it, Dad. What are you?
Like, how dare you?" It's like when she shows me, "Oh, Dad, have you seen these new Thundercats on Cartoon Network?" I'm like, "They're not Thundercats. Get them off my screen."
I'm still waiting for that live action Thundercats film. That's really what I want to like. It needs to be 100% true to the 100% true to the source material and just right in the nostalgia. And I think it would do really well, like especially with the huge boom in that kind of 80s, early 90s kind of nostalgia stuff being so popular now. I think it would do really, really well. But there's a whole episode that we could just do on old cartoons, couldn't there? Like, Brave Star. Did you ever watch Brave Star?
I never watched Brave Star. No.
Oh, you need to go and watch it, Sorrel. It was just cowboys in space. That was it. And a talking horse.
Real Ghostbusters and all that, though. That's how I went through all them.
Real Ghostbusters, yeah.
Real Ghostbusters, yeah.
Well, actually, speaking of which, there's the new Ghostbusters film that they've they're teasing. I think it was Empire shared some pictures recently. What are your thoughts on it? Are you excited? Or
I like Ghostbusters. I was. This is where people hate me. I didn't mind the reboot with the women cast. I didn't mind it. As a film on its own, it hit the nostalgia factor for me, and it was all right.
I'm with you on it. I'm with you on that one. And I think the cameos of the original guys, even the bust of what's his name? His name's completely gone. I remember. I'll put it in. But the bust, obviously, having all the cameos in that hit the nostalgia enough for me that I was like, you know what? I'm cool with this. Like, this is cool. Is it my favorite Ghostbusters film? No, not at all. But I enjoyed it. But I'm really excited for Afterlife, isn't it? I think it's called.
Yeah,
and Paul Rudd's in it, and obviously
it's basically Stranger Things, isn't it? They've made it like it's Stranger Things with Ghostbusters. It's
100%, and it's just all the little teasers we've seen for it so far has made me really excited for it. And I think that they've hit the nail on the head with this kind of mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, haven't they? They've tapped into the baby Groot and the baby Yoda and all that kind of stuff. So that
as soon as that stupid trailer came out where Paul Rudd was walking down the aisle and they're all talking to each other and doing mental stuff, it was like, that's just awesome.
It's just basically nowadays, if you take something that's iconic and you make a baby version, you're onto a winner. You're onto a winner. So, all right, let's move on. So that I think that was it for TVs and movies. There wasn't anything massively out there. Do you want to go Star Wars or Marvel? Up to you.
We'll go Marvel first, I think.
All right, then, cool. So obviously the big news is that they've announced a Fan First Wednesday out of the blue. The guys did hint that it wasn't going to be the last or the only Fan First Friday of the month. And then they threw one at us on a Wednesday. What are your predictions?
They're going to show the tiers properly, aren't they? They've teased them, but I think they'll reveal them. But The actual campaign's not doing too well, though, is it? I think it's not even reached. Is it not reached 9,000 yet, or is it still slow?
No. Last time I checked, it was at about 8,900, I think.
So it's not like the others where they've smashed it overnight. This is kind of taking its time, this one.
No, and there's a lot of talk about it on the internet because obviously it's a huge difference in tiers. Now, the Sentinel, I don't know if you remember, but the Sentinel's original minimum backer was 6,000. So that's all they needed for it. And it what was it priced up at? 350, I think it was. So it wasn't a huge price difference, but the minimum backers was a lot lower. And obviously they reached that in like 24 hours. And I think it finished on about 22,000, I think, backers in the end of it. I think, like, I don't know how the production of these things go, and I don't know why 14,000 is the number they've picked, but there's obviously a reason for it. But I just think it's such a huge number to start with, because at this stage with the Sentinel, people already knew. I mean, I think they already had 2 tiers by now, and then they were on to because the first tier was at 7,000. I remember that. So I think they'd already had 2 tiers, and they were teasing the third. So people were just buying it up. And obviously, as we said last week, it was all the army builder element of it and everything like that. But I just think to have 14,000 as a minimum without any tiers and no incentives, it's just massive. I mean, there's 34, 33 days left on it.
Yeah. Do you think? I'm really not convinced at the moment.
Well, it's like with the the Transformers one.
I don't know. I'm not on Transformers at all.
Totally lost my name. It's too late in the day. I've got no train of thought here. But there's the Transformers one. It will come to me when we come off the call. I know it will. But there's the Transformers one. And they extended the deadline because it hadn't hit the amount of minimum backers needed. And I think that's probably what's going to happen with this one if they don't hit it. But I think that there's a lot of people that are kind of hovering over that buy button because they want to see what else is coming. Because the Sentinel was so... The Sentinel was false advertising, I think, for a HasLab, because it was huge, it was relatively affordable, and it came with so many extras that people were like, happy days. And I think that so many people are kind of waiting because they want to see what else they're going to get for their money.
I'm wondering whether to get people to get to that threshold, whether they're going to announce that if they reach the target, they'll automatically unlock, say, Silver Surfer as the next figure, and then they'll put that second tease as the next sort of goal to keep people going.
Somebody on, I think it was on my Instagram, commented, and they said something along the lines of that they should do it so that all of the tiers are kind of unlockable at a certain amount. So they kind of show us everything. Because obviously, the ones that they've teased at the moment are Heralds. So I think that's probably the route they're going to go down. It'll be a number of Heralds, won't it? But to kind of show them more and say, look, if we reach this is what you're going to get. I think that would probably incentivize people. But obviously the image that they released had two Heralds teased. Are you very up on your Heralds of Galactus or
not at all?
No. All right. So there's been loads of them. I think even Human Torch was one of them at one point. But there was 4 that I would like to see. Now the image that they've shown us obviously is the Silver Surfer. That's a given, isn't it? That's definitely Silver Surfer. There's no denying that's Silver Surfer.
They need to have Silver Surfer with him.
Yeah. And I think that the other one is Nova. Not the Nova that we see from Nova Corps, but it's another character. Go have a look at who she is, but she's this big fiery kind of woman. There's another one. You'd recognize the characters if you saw them. There's another one called Firelord. He was one of the Heralds at one point, and he's got like a big staff with a flame on it and big fiery head and everything. Terrax was obviously one, and we had a Terrax figure way back in the day, so I think that they could easily do that again. And there's another character called Airwalker that would be quite a cool one. If they gave us those 5, then I think I would definitely be kind of, okay, I need to invest in this.
Well, wasn't the second tease definitely like a female figure? It like it had or it had like a big wavy hairpiece. So like you say, it could be that. It could be the Firelord one, because if he's going to have like a headpiece that's like on fire.
Well, no, I think it's Nova, because the body shape of it, she's all on fire, and whereas the Firelord, he's got more of a, I don't know how you describe it, but more of a imagine kind of almost Kang with a Ghost Rider kind of top. It's that kind of look. Whereas Nova has got that big flowing flame hair. So I think it's Surfer and Nova. But this is my theory. I'm either going to be completely right or completely wrong. But I don't think that the Silver Surfer silhouette that we've seen is the Silver Surfer that's going to be included. That's just my theory. Just because they've put the effect piece on it again on the hand, and everyone always complains about those effect pieces. And to throw just the same Silver Surfer in would just be I think it would upset a lot of people. What would really interest me if they gave us an updated Silver Surfer, so maybe on a similar body to the retro Spider-Man with more articulation. One of the big complaints about both of the Surfer figures we've had is the surfboard, and it not being able to sort of, there's only one peg on it, so it only attaches to one foot. So even to do something like magnetized or something like that, and a lot of people are saying an actual chrome Silver Surfer, so one that looks like the recent Colossus arms that we've had. And they're doing that. They're doing a lot more chromed figures, so they could easily do an updated Surfer on one of the new body types, maybe even a pinless body type, with a chrome finish and a magnetized board. I'm 100% behind that if they do that, 100%. But that's my hope. So I don't think that silhouette that we saw is the same Surfer that we're necessarily going to get. I personally think that Wednesday they might tease the tears. If they don't show them, I think we're going to see the Fantastic Four wave, the retro Fantastic Four wave. Because I think if I was in marketing for this, I would go, right, we need to give them something that they're going to go, we need Galactus to go with this. Does that make sense? And I think we've seen that Johnny Storm, haven't we? We saw that, the rendering of that. I think they're going to show us the rest of those. And that's going to make everyone go, oh, I can finally get a full Fantastic Four set in the costumes. Because the Walgreen ones are quite hard to come by and not everyone has a full set. So they're going to give us the Fantastic Four in the blue and white uniforms. And then people are going to go, well, if I've got those, I also need to get Galactus. That's my theory. That's what I would do if I was in market, just as a clever ploy.
Just to think as well, just to be the devil's advocate, they still haven't officially announced the Eternals yet. No, and that's coming up very soon. No,
I honestly thought we were going to see that a couple of live streams ago. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I don't know whether they've just kind of sat back on that one and just thought, you know what, everyone's seen them already, so we'll just release them at some point. But yeah, it could just be that. It really could be.
We'll probably find out tomorrow because everything always leaks in advance, doesn't it?
That's the problem, isn't it? It's they do their best, and I've been guilty of sharing a few of the leaks before. But the thing is people want to see them, and as soon as they're on the internet, they're out there. So I think if I was one taking the pictures and sharing them, I'd feel bad. But I don't feel as bad just kind of passing on the information, if that makes sense. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't know. But the jury's out on the Galactus at the moment. I can't imagine it's never going to get made, but I don't think it's moved. I don't think it's generated anywhere near as much steam as they hoped. And it's opened up to all the international markets as well now. Yep. Whereas obviously when the Sentinel opened up to the UK and European market, there was a huge spike.
And it was through a vendor. It wasn't even. Yeah. This is all direct with Hasbro this time.
Yeah, I do wonder whether that's had any effect though. Because I don't know. I wonder whether that's had any effect. I think that
payment plans, that would do it.
It's so many people would get on there. And another huge talking point on some of the groups as well is the amount of money that 14,000 times 400 is. And it's something stupid like 5 million or 5.5 million, and people are kind of kicking off and kind of going, well, is it really cost that much to make this? And like I said, I don't know production, but they're a business. They've got to make a profit. It's, what an amazing way of doing it. But
when they're doing these things, I don't think for 1 minute it's these guys that we speak to or hear from that make these decisions where they go, we need this amount of backers. That'll be some corporate bigwig that's going, well,
exactly.
The last one made this amount. Let's see if we can make this amount.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't know if you followed Dwight on Instagram, but he's been posting loads of pictures of the Galactus. He's got the prototype, hasn't he? And it's quite interesting to see the little comparison pictures and stuff. I really do think they missed a trick by releasing it before the Sentinel was in hand, because I think a lot of people, if they got that piece in hand and they go, wow, look at this incredible piece of manufacturing or whatever, they would jump on it.
My only thing is, as well, they've still, like you say, we've not got the first one in hand, so we still kind of feel like they've taken his money and run off, because we've still not really got that piece. And now they're announcing, there's another one, another one's coming. And it's like, well, and as well, another thing for me is that we are at the back end of this global pandemic. A lot of people are out of work right now, and they're asking people to part with a lot of cash. Yeah.
And that, I mean, that does play into it as well, because the Sentinel, if we're talking about, let's make it topical for a minute, Sorrel. But with the pandemic that hit, the Sentinel launched almost right at the beginning of this, and there were so many people that were like, "Oh, I've actually got this much money because I'm not going on holiday, or this much money because I'm not going to the theater or the cinema." So a lot of people had, I don't want to say disposable cash, but all of a sudden they found more money in their pockets because they weren't doing stuff.
Whereas working things, we were just sitting on his bums and getting paid. So
it was like, so I'm at home, I'm getting paid, but I'm not at work. And look, you want me to buy this like 2-foot Sentinel? Happy days. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that there are a lot of people that are in the situation, because there's a lot of chatter on the groups as well about people that do want it and, I wish I could get it, and there seems to be more of that this time round than there was with the Sentinel, or maybe I'm just noticing it more. I don't know. But
I mean, as I said in the last live stream, we win a joke and stuff. I'm an idiot with my money. I spend it left, right, and center. I buy so much stuff every month, but even I won't part with money for this thing. It's like I just can't do it. The price tag's ridiculous.
But like you say, I mean, you rightly said about doing a review or whatever, and having that as what you couldn't even drag that out over a month, could you? Because as soon as it's in hand, everyone's going to be doing the reviews on it and stuff. So it does limit what you could do with it, I suppose. And from a figure photography point of view as well, and there are much better photographers out there than me, and maybe they would know different. But I look at it and I just think that you're very limited to what you can do. It's you could get some amazing shots of it, but it's not as flexible as a 6-inch figure that you can put into a diorama and kind of, but I don't know. I would love to have one. I'd love to get hold of one, but I'm really enjoying the process of watching it unfold. There's not really much else Marvel-wise. I hope they give us a load on Wednesday. I hope there's a load that come out and we can just talk Marvel. But obviously,
the thing with the what if wave, they could be showing us that in advance of the TV series, because there's nothing really that is spoiler in this, because it's not real.
No, that's very true.
It's everyone's kind of already seen the trailer. They've already shown us more or less each episode of what it's going to be about. Certain characters taking on new mantles and things like that. So I don't see the harm in them actually announcing the figures prior to the television series this time, rather than waiting till it's finished and everyone's kind of moving on.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the problem was with the Sam Wilson Bathwave. Yeah, was they waited too long to announce it, whereas they might have learned from that and gone, right, as this one's not really spoiler territory, let's release it now, and then the television series is going to be in a few weeks. Everyone's going to get pre-orders in and get excited.
And obviously with that wave, it was the big reveal of the, Sam Wilson as the Captain America, and that would have been a massive spoiler, obviously, announcing that wave before it finished.
Here's a question. We all knew where it was going.
Everyone knew it was coming.
You knew what we're coming.
Everyone knew it was coming. Here's a question for you, though. So the What If wave, the What If TV show is obviously animated. However, it's using the voices of a lot of the actors that we established. Would you like the figures to be in the style of the Into the Spider-Verse kind of animated look that we got recently with the Miles Morales and Peter B. Parker? Or would you like to have them in the style of the MCU actors, but in the alternative costumes?
MCU style, just because this is still the MCU. Even though it's an animated version of it, it's still the MCU. Yep. So I would say that I would probably want them to be in the MCU style.
Yeah.
And I think Hasbro would be daft not to do that, because they've already got the molds.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one. It'll be just
kick bashing, really, surely.
Oh yeah, definitely. It would just be nice to have those characters and those actors, actresses, the molds of those guys. You know, like a Chadwick Boseman like Star-Lord is just going to be. It's going to be pretty cool. Let's be honest. Like that's the one I'm really hoping is in that wave. And the Peggy Carter Captain America, like she looks cool. She looks cool. I'm enjoying that so far. So cool. All right then. Well, let's move on to Black Series then. So you're the expert in this field. Obviously, take it away. My knowledge is limited on this one this week.
So I got really excited for the TVC wave this week. I think they went up at one Walmart, and then obviously they dropped in the UK for us to get as well. Yeah, but we're finally getting, which I'm really excited about. We're finally getting. I'm going to butcher these names though. Luminara Uldul, and Ayla Sakura, and Baris Offee. We're finally getting those 3 female characters that we've not had for years. They have had some of these figures before, but they're so hard to get hold of now. And I love the fact they've gone with the new card backs with the 50th logo, and it's the Clone Wars, and it's the classic cartoon Clone Wars look, but the figure is still that original traditional figure. We're just getting them finally, because I've been wanting Ayla Sakura for so long to finish off my Jedi line.
Awesome. Are these? Correct me if I'm wrong. Are these based off of the Clone Wars, or that sub Clone Wars that we saw beforehand? You know, that like Commander Obi-Wan is from.
No, the artwork that's on the things, it doesn't. It's more the Galaxy of Adventures line style. It's more of that new modern kind of look. From what I can see, it's definitely not that other Clone Wars that we don't talk about.
Yeah, that no one speaks about,
even though it was good. But that would be a totally different line, and I don't think Hasbro would do that. This is definitely the art style. Looks to me to be a lot like the that rabbit they made. What do they call him? It's in the same sort of style of that artwork that they made on that box.
Yep. Yeah. I only ask because obviously that was what the Black Series Clone Commander Obi-Wan wasn't it? Originally, we got a Black Series one that was based off of that show, wasn't it? With the kind of, do you remember the one that was so hard to get?
But I never saw it as being a part of that thing. To be fair, I just saw it as a Clone Wars Obi-Wan from the regular Clone Wars. I never saw it as like the. Oh
yeah, no fair. I always looked at it and saw that one. I don't know. Oh. That's where my head went. With it.
But they are giving us 2 6-inch as well in that line. We are going to be getting a 6-inch Arc Trooper and a 6-inch Mace Windu. Oh, sorry, and a 6-inch Grievous. There's 3. Sorry, there's 3, and a 6-inch Grievous. So, didn't they just give us an Arc Trooper?
Yes.
Wasn't that an Arc Trooper we just got like the other day? I'm looking.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, Arc Trooper Echo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had to check. I was like, it is, yeah.
Yes, this is another Arc Trooper.
I'm interested to see the Grievous and the Mace Windu.
Yes, because they didn't give us any official imagery or anything. It's just a cartoon photo, and they went, but I've still pre-ordered it.
Yeah, see, I'm interested in these ones because I've got both of those characters in my Star Wars display anyway. But obviously from the regular Black Series line. So I'll be curious to see what they look like because they're definitely 2 that would tempt me without a doubt.
Well, yeah, I've definitely gone for the Mace Windu one. Definitely, 100%. I've pre-ordered that right now because of the fact that the Obi-Wan, when everyone did this, when that Obi-Wan came out, nobody bought it, and now they can't get it for the love of money. So I would say if you want it, get your pre-ordering because I think that Mace Windu will sell out just as quick because people are going to customize it, aren't they? Because everyone likes that new idea of Mace Windu still alive. Yes. And everyone's going to use it to create a new version of Mace, I think, because he's in like the armor and stuff.
I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but has he got the white armor and similar to the Obi that we got?
Yeah, so similar to the Obi, it's Mace Windu's version of his armor. So yeah, he's got like the armor pieces on the arms, the shoulder parts.
I think he's got the forearms, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got the forearms on, and he's got the sort of knee brace things and the boots.
Yeah, I might have to jump on that one. I can't afford to miss that one. It's going to look awesome, especially next to the Anakin and the Obi-Wan that we recently got. They're going to look really good. But I can't imagine, is Grievous going to be Grievous or is he going to be a different version of him? Because obviously in Clone Wars we saw his backstory as such, didn't we?
Yeah, I think they've taken. I think it's going to be Grievous, but I think the idea is the one they gave us last time was the film version, and I think it was too skinny. And I think a lot of people have commented that when you stand that next to Obi-Wan, it doesn't look menacing at all. In the film, he was quite broad, and he had a big chest plate, and when you stand him in front of Obi-Wan, it just looks stupid. It's so thin. Yeah. So I'm hoping they might have made a more deluxe one. Now they've learned from it, made him a bit chunkier.
Yeah, that would be really cool. He's really difficult to pose as well, like to stand up. He's like, you can get him into a couple of good poses, but he's always one that I've got to watch for toppling. Like he's always like, and he's so like wide. He'll go down. He'll take down a whole wave of whole wave of clones with him, or like droids or whatever. All right, cool. And obviously there was the carbonized ones really teased as well.
See, when the first wave of carbonized ones came out, they were decent because they were a right good mix of characters. This time round, we're having the third release of the heavy armor one, the Paz Vizsla.
Yep.
This is the third time we've had that figured out, isn't it? So we had the original one, the pastel coloured one from the Bounty Collection, and now this is the carbonized one. Yeah.
Fun fact as well, like it was a credit collection, wasn't it? But yeah, and I just thought it was credits as in credits, not credits as in the credits that roll at the end.
Yeah, it was based on the pastel drawings that was at the end of each episode.
You know what? It was such a light bulb. It wasn't very long into it that I realised that, but it was such a light bulb moment. I don't have many nowadays either. It's quite nice to enjoy. I was like, oh yeah, credits. And then I was like, I got one in hand. I was like, no, this is based on the credits. That's amazing. So I was like a little kid again. But yeah, this is the third version of that. I've got, which one have I got? I've just got the regular one. I think the first one.
Yeah. And then they're also giving us the Scout Trooper again. And we're getting the Shore Trooper again. It's just like, come on. We've just had these like within the last wave, not even that long ago.
No, I think the only carbonized figures I've got a Stormtrooper, like your standard Stormtrooper, I'm sure I've got, and a Boba. They're the only two carbonized I got.
Well, I got Boba. Is it Seventh Sister or Second Sister or something? I got that one, the Inquisitor. Oh
yeah,
because their armor's metal. It looks good in that style.
It looks better, yeah. And
then they made that weird blue Boba Fett, that blue Darth Vader, which I love.
That is a cool one.
So miscolored, it looks so weird, but I love it. And again, when you talk about characters like that, that's such a random group of characters to put in that random metal armor. Why didn't they give us like a C-3PO in that armor?
Yeah.
It would just look so good. It would actually match the idea of the character, or re-release Chopper, because everyone can't get Chopper for love of money. Re-release Chopper and give him that metallic look. Again, it would match. It would look like a droid then.
That would look really cool. I actually swapped out my C-3PO for one of the Bandai model kits, just because they're metallic. And for me, it was just kind of, it looked so dull next to him. And I was like, no, he needs to be shiny. He needs to be metal. And so I got one of them Bandai kits. I was like, yeah, you're the version that's staying on my shelf. And he looks good. Like, it looks quite cool against the others. So,
yeah. I always loved the droids from the Elite series line that Disney made, the metal die-cast ones. They were just the wrong scale. If they'd have made them 6-inch scale in that metal format, they would have been so good because we had the Gonk droid and all sorts.
They were heavy as well, weren't they?
Big, heavy,
like really heavy.
Check out yourself them, bad boys.
I suppose. See, having spoken to you now, I am excited for Mace Windu and Grievous. I wasn't overly blown away by everything I saw, but I think I was misled because it is just those drawings, isn't it? There's no actual images. So I'm going to have to go and do my research on that one without a doubt. Was there anything else Star Wars wise?
That was it. It was those weird carbonized things.
Yeah, they just kind of came out in like a unforgiving kind of noise, didn't they? No one
that line, if I'm honest.
No, I was shocked, and no one really kind of jumped up shouting yes at that time, did they? They were just kind of, all right, here we go.
I'm surprised we didn't get a credit collection for Series 2 rather than them.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, that would have been better. That definitely would have been better.
A pastel version of it. Well, we still haven't got actually any Season 2 figures, have we, really? They've only released Season 1. We still haven't got Ahsoka Tano in that form, but she's meant to be coming.
No. Obviously, the Frog Lady as well. We've got to get her at one point, surely. Like, that would be a lovely little set with the eggs in like the backpack thing, canister thing. And And obviously, there's been no more noise about the Rancor. Nothing else has been said. I think they're hoping that just everyone forgets so that they can make a big announcement. It's been a quiet-ish week, hasn't it? Really?
Yeah, I think as well, because we've got a lot of these, like, all these companies are holding their own little cons, aren't they, right now? We're in the middle of con season online, which is weird. They're all doing their own little things. Like Walmart con, what is that about?
Oh, I don't know. I think everyone was in lockdown, they were all just throwing the word con at the end and expecting it to be a big noise. But San Diego Comic-Con's going on at the moment, isn't it? That's launched.
The online one, yeah.
And I haven't heard anything really about that. Like, I've not. Has there been any other figures or any other news that you've seen this week that's grabbed your attention?
One thing I did want to shout out about this time was a bit of a deal of the week kind of thing, because it is just too much of a good deal to pass up. Right now on kapowtoys.co.uk at the time of recording, the Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Elite Set of 4, which is the PX Previews exclusive, where it's the modernized classic version of the Turtles, but with just the red bandanas rather than the different colors that were made for TV. So these are just the solid red ones, the original comic book ones, and they're marked down to $49.95 from £100.
Whoa! Wow,
that's the cheapest of beans. So that's a good bargain to grab right now.
Definitely, that really is a good bargain. Where was that?
That was kapowtoys.co.uk.
Cool. Well, you watch. Hopefully that'll get bought up, because that's too much of a good deal to pass up.
Yeah, and the other thing I saw as well on there was that if you're missing the Vintage Collection Wave 1 from 2018, they have some sealed cases of 8 on there. So that's the wave that includes Kylo Ren, Rey from Jakku, Hoth Rebel Soldier, Jyn Erso, First Order Stormtrooper, and 2 Snokes. Right. It's a sealed box for £50.
That's not bad, is it?
Again, that's a steal.
That's not bad. I mean, I must admit, there are a few things that pop up that I do kind of envy new collectors when I sort of see it, and things like that where you're kind of like, you would have gone out and you would have bought those individually at £24 a pop, and then a couple of years later and it's like, have them all for £50 and the box is sealed. It's just take them off our hands. So they're really good offers. Another one of the other figures. Say again.
Sorry, go on. What were you saying?
No, I was going to say I've seen. I mean, I'm sure that all the retailers have got them, but I noticed them on Comics and Cocktails. Was all the Golden Axe figures that have been?
Yes. I
can't remember who it is that's doing it. Is it? It's not Super 7, is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Is it?
I think it is Super 7.
But they are right out of the video. I loved that game as a kid. I absolutely loved it, and it was just to see the characters and the beasts as well, because obviously you had the little things that they all wrote. There was one part of me and I was just like, oh, do I start a new line? Do I start a new line just for the nostalgia element? And I convinced myself, I was like, well, there's not a huge amount that they could do, because, they've shown us the main characters and and I thought, no, there's loads that they could do because of all those bosses and all those, like, all the armies and stuff. And I thought, no, I can't do it. But they look incredible. They really do.
Well, the only other news this week that I know you're not really into your wrestling figures, but hold the line, this might change your opinion, because they are releasing a new line only at Walmart. We haven't announced whether they're coming to the UK yet, but I'm sure they will. It's the WWE Hollywood line. So we're finally getting a Scorpion King action figure made by Mattel.
What?
So yes, that was the only reason I got excited. It's like, the Scorpion King!
What? Wow.
And they're releasing a bunch of the Rock from Fast and Furious, so you can get Hobbs, so you can get him in the full attire, and then they've also got him in the sort of like Hawaiian attire that he wears at the end. At the end of the film, you can get 2 versions of him as well. But for me, it was all about the Scorpion King, I've got to admit.
That's really cool. So hang on. So they're essentially figures of the wrestlers from films that they've been in.
From the films they've been in, so that means we might get like the Rowdy Roddy Piper. They Live and things like that. Is it They Live? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might get...
I mean, Hulk Hogan was in a ton of, like, what was it?
Exactly.
What was the Nanny film?
Mr. Nanny, wasn't it? We called
Mr. Nanny. Yeah, it was just Mr. Nanny, wasn't it? So, I mean, in all fairness, they were just all Hulk Hogan in different costumes. Like but that's really cool. That's really cool.
It's a license to print money, is that? Because the amount of stuff they've put, like John Cena and The Rock, the amount of films they've been in together. And the fact that they're both going to be in the new Fast and Furious movie, obviously, is the big cinch of that. But yeah, I was thinking about the possibilities. I mean, like, are we going to see the Big Show in the Father Christmas outfit and a Jingle All the Way packaging come out? please.
You know what? With the Turbo Man announced, that wouldn't be a bad way of Mattel cashing in on that.
Oh, I'm here to deck your halls, bud.
That's what an awesome scene as well. What an awesome scene. But yeah, I mean, that's a way for them to cash in on it. But those Fast and Furious, the Rocks ones, they're great for civilian looks. You know, I mean, I know that he's a big guy anyway, but you know you could have the Thor in his civilian outfit. You could have, I suppose, you could probably get away with some of the other bigger figures as well. But yeah, I mean, that's I always get excited with civilian dressed figures because they come few and far between. And
yeah, the good figure action figure photography, especially if you put them, like sometimes I do them where I'll make a scene up where the backs are towards the camera so you don't see the faces, because like I've got a load of the Rick Flags when they were cheap from Suicide Squad, and I like change the looks of them, put different heads on them and different body armors and stuff, so they just look like a SWAT team. And if you pose them right in as if they're going in, like coming into a room or something, it just looks really good.
Yeah, no, brilliant. But yeah, I mean, oh man, I'm going to have to go. Are there images now? Because I haven't seen
Yeah, there's images online of all these. Yeah.
So we know what these figures are going to... Right, that's what I'm doing when we come off this. That is my research.
Scorpion King looks brilliant.
Is it... You got to indulge me here. Is it in his kind of end of the film where he's got the tail, or is it him as
but I hope they make that variant.
And
this is the one from the beginning of the film. He's sort of shirtless with the different bands and things on his hands, and he's got the long sort of brown pant things on, and he's got the big ponytail.
See, now that would be great as well. Like the Egyptian side, like you could really tie that in with like Apocalypse and the Marvel side of things. Like, get a couple of those as guards or something for Apocalypse. Yeah. Oh, I've
said for years though, why haven't they've never cashed in on the Mummy and the Mummy Returns and things. They could make some great figures out of that, especially nowadays. With the face technology, they could make some brilliant figures. And Brendan Fraser's not doing anything. He'll sign his rights away to that stuff, surely.
Yeah, 100%. They were really good films. They really were good films. And they had a toy line for it, though, didn't they?
But they weren't. I mean, because of the fact that we've now grown up, because that film came out when we were younger. Now we've grown up and we're the ones with the nostalgia goggles with the expendable cash. If you make it a toy line like Marvel Legends or something, give us a line of those figures in nice collector packagings, with plenty of accessories and things like that. I would buy a Rick O'Connell covered in guns, and I'd buy that in a heartbeat, and then give me 100%. An Imhotep and that cool Magi guy and with all the black robes and stuff. I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it'd just be cool to have that as a, you look at, just saying it because I can see the Jurassic Park car behind you, but you look at the Jurassic Park line now, back in, and there's still a lot of the figures and a lot of the toys that come out for Jurassic Park. They're not all based on the Jurassic World. They're going back and they're doing Jurassic Park, like even just the Amber collection. It's all the characters from the original film. So like you say, they're tapping into that age bracket. So yeah, if anyone's listening, do a Mummies Return figure line. That would be amazing. You've got two customers right here.
Well, it's Universal Monsters, and obviously Universal Monsters are coming back. So I mean, if they did go for the more modern route, I mean, I would even buy, like the Van Helsing. I would even buy that at this point. The film wasn't that cracking, but I'd still buy it.
The Hugh Jackman Van Helsing we talking. Yeah. I loved that. I was brilliant. That see, now you're just giving me a wish list. You really are giving me a wish list.
And again, I mentioned this on a stream that I was on the other day. It's like the Universal Monsters line. If they tapped into the modern stuff, even the Dracula movie with Keanu Reeves and Gary Oldman, imagine them as a bunch of action figures.
Yeah,
there's some amazing figures in that line.
That would be really cool.
Lucy Westerman as the vampire in the big bride's dress. With the bloodied face and things holding the baby. That'd be an awesome action figure. I want that.
Can you imagine? Now. Here we go. Now I'm going. Can you imagine an interview of the vampire figures?
Queen of the Damned as well.
They would be. What is it? Is it is it Anne Rice?
Anne Rice, yeah.
Anne Rice,
Vampire Chronicles.
Can you imagine a figure line based on the characters of Anne Rice?
I was a creepy little goth kid that read every single one of them books.
Did you? See, I read quite a few. I really did. I'm tapping into the nostalgia now. I did read a couple of them. But I'm guilty as charged. I was introduced to them because of Interview with a Vampire, the film. Film came out, yeah. Give me a line of those. That'll be happy. I'd definitely be happy. I suppose just bring it back to where we are now as opposed to where we wish. I just remembered I'm wearing Suicide Squad t-shirt. That comes out next week. What are your thoughts?
Very excited. I like stupid movies like Suicide Squad. They appeal to my stupid factor.
I'm excited.
I like Harley. I'm a big Harley Quinn buff, and I think she's perfect as Harley Quinn. I think
she really is.
She's a perfect, Harley Quinn. So I'm glad that she's still in it. And they haven't changed her. But yeah, it's sad to see like Will Smith go and being replaced and stuff, because I think many people think it's the same character, but it's not. Never just recast him.
No.
But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with this one, because it's a different, and the fact that it's made by the same guy that made Guardians gives me a lot of hope, to be honest. Yeah, James, it gives me a lot of hope, does that, to be honest? Yeah,
I think it's going to be, he's definitely proved himself that he knows how to do a comedic team up stupid film, you know, like, and I remember I was so underwhelmed when I found out the Guardians of the Galaxy were being made, because I was like, don't branch off into that part of Marvel Comics yet. Keep it where it is with the Avengers and the that kind of side of things. But then as soon as it came out, I was like, this exceeded all my expectations. So I really hope that he can do for this what he did for that, if that makes sense. King Shark, the fact that King Shark's in it makes it for me, because obviously we saw him in the Flash. He was in the Flash for a while, and they really did him justice for what the character was. But then this version in the film is much more comedic, and it looks like the big brute kind of, he's not very clever, he's not very bright, but they've got some really good characters. Like, they are really stupid, like they are the stupid, like Javelin, like and the
button
polka
guy.
dot man, polka dot man, or polka dot like that kid, I can't remember his name. I'm not a huge DC buff, I must admit, so if I get any of these names wrong, I do apologize, but they're all characters that are recognized to an extent, and John Cena, he's in that one as well, isn't he? He plays, I can't remember the name of the character. As I said, I'm not a big buff, but his character looks like a
anti-Captain America, basically.
Yeah,
which is what he is anyway.
It just looks so much fun, and as you say, like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn is it's spot on. Like, it really is, and I don't think it's really got the credit that it's deserved, if that makes sense.
No,
like, if anyone, because I read a lot of DC kind of back in the day. I'm just not up to date on the newer stuff, but you read the character, and even watching the character on things like the animated Batman and stuff like that, and she's really kind of nailed the essence of what the character is. And it always upsets me that there's always a poll about who's the best Joker, which is the definitive Joker, who played it best, and all the rest of it. And very rarely is there ever anyone shouting, actually, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn is up there with some of the better Joker versions. So I'm really excited for it. I am massively excited for it.
The fact that they put Suicide Squad, the original film, on Netflix for UK and US, they put it on, and literally it's number one trending on both UK and United States. It went straight up. So as much as people take the mick out of the original film, I think it has now we've kind of passed that, and it's like, it is a movie you can put on and just zone out to. Yeah. It is just an easy watching movie. It's just daft.
And obviously they've got Captain Boomerang's back, and Harley Quinn's back, and Amanda Wallace, I think that's it. So she's back. I don't think any of the others are returning characters.
No, they're not.
But
it's a whole new cast this time.
Yeah, but the obviously the essence of the film is the same. It's these guys that are in prison that are given a chance to knock some years off their sentence. So
yeah, from what I understand, they're calling it the Suicide Squad because the other film doesn't exist in James Gunn's franchise. Even though we've got some of the same actors in it, I'm pretty sure they're basically saying this is not a sequel. This is a retelling. Because James Gunn didn't want to make a sequel. He wanted to do his interpretation of it, but I think they insisted on that Margot Robbie and what's his face, Jai Courtney would return.
Ah, right. See,
characters.
I did not know that. I thought it was a sequel, but either way, I'm happy. I'm down. I've not looked into too many spoilers, and the internet's not really crawly with loads of spoilers or anything like that. So it's been quite easy to avoid any real.
Well, the next big thing that they're doing after this is going to be Gotham City Sirens, which I'm really excited to see how they do that, because that's Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really, obviously, again, it's a Batman movie without Batman. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do it. And if they keep, obviously, Margot Robbie on, which I'm sure they will, it'll be cool to see who they cast as the new Poison Ivy and Catwoman.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well,
that for me could definitely help them rejuvenate the DCEU a little bit, and it could give it a soft reboot that it needs, really.
Well, they've got the Batman coming out, haven't they, with Robert Pattinson?
And it's a prequel, though, that isn't it?
No, but you've got is it Zoe Kravitz is playing Catwoman in that?
Oh, right, okay.
So, but again, it's like her as Cat. I'm sure it's her. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure it is. But it's, as you say, it's a prequel, so it's her as Catwoman before she's kind of really Catwoman. Yeah. So she could be, if she potentially does well and is liked by the audiences, she could essentially show up as a more developed version of Catwoman in the Sirens film. Who knows?
That could be cool.
Who knows? Yeah. I'm a fan of hers anyway, so I think she'll do quite well. But yeah, I'm really excited for Suicide Squad. I'm definitely going to be on top of it.
Yeah, I'm all over it. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait for it to come out now. Are you going to the cinema for that one, or are you going to be watching that on Amazon?
I don't know at the moment. Black Widow's thrown me. I was adamant I was going to the cinema for Black Widow, and I've still got to go. I will 100% go and see it before it leaves the cinema, but I was adamant to go there, and I ended up Disney Plusing it.
My only gripe with Amazon, the thing I love about Disney is the fact that once I've paid for it, I get the digital copyright, so I can watch it whenever I want, as long as it's on Disney Plus. Right. With Amazon, you're going to be paying £15 to rent it for 2 days, basically. You don't get the digital rights, so that annoys me a little bit.
Then I'll be going to the cinema.
Yeah, because it's more than the cost of the DVD. That's the same price of a Blu-ray.
Yeah. No,
yeah, if they made it so that you could keep the film afterwards, I'd be all over it. But I'll probably go to the cinema.
Yeah. But it's interesting as well, as you talk about that, because there was a lot of talk about the Disney Premier Access really creating a lot of controversy, because obviously the box office really suffered, didn't it? So I read somewhere that after Jungle Cruise, they're not going to do it anymore.
What, the cinema pass?
The Disney Premier Access thing.
I remember I heard the opposite, where Disney want to basically zone out the stop using cinemas, and that really upset the British Cinema Authority, because they said like that you are taking away Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, the main franchises of cinema. They'd be taking away.
It's going to go back to the old B movie days. It's like you go to cinema for something. Oh, maybe I misread it then. Maybe that's what they meant. Yeah,
because I think they've definitely learned over lockdown that more people will be prepared to watch it from home. Mm-hmm. And I think if they were to make it so that Premiere Access was standard with your subscription, you got every movie unlocked as they came out, just as a part of your subscription. If they upped the subscription cost, but you got every film, people would buy it, because it's quite cheap right now.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of the lower ones.
Yes, I mean, if they upped it to the sort of Netflix and above range, I'd pay it, because it's Disney. It's Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney. I'm not going to not watch them.
No, I could live without Prime and put that money towards Disney if that's what happened. And that sounds so bad, doesn't it? Yep, Disney just take all my money. But it's true. Like I think you're right. I think it's more people would definitely appeal, like be interested in it.
You can't live without Prime. You need Shudder. Is it Shudder? The dodgy horror franchise thing. And they recently released that Psycho Gorman. Have you seen that yet?
No.
Please
What
watch
am I
Psycho
missing?
Gorman. Please watch Psycho Gorman. It is the most psychedelic random nonsense film I've ever watched in a long time. Some kids find this stone in the ground and they find that it controls this great big beast of a hell monster called the Psycho Gorman. And he summons other monsters to come to Earth to fight for Earth's dominance. And these kids are controlling him, basically. It is like an 80s nostalgia fest. There's like a random little dwarf that comes down with a pickaxe and he gets kicked and sent flying. Stupid 80s cheese, but I watched it. I was like, this is the most nonsense film I've ever seen in my life, but I like it.
No, I'm on it.
Please watch it.
That's my next view, without a doubt. That is my next viewing. Because I'm rubbish with Prime. I get on it like last minute. I got it there for my shopping, and the subscription side of it I really let slip. But yeah, I was watching War of the Worlds. Have you watched that one?
I haven't seen that one yet. I need to get on that. Everyone keeps saying that's a good one.
See, I loved Series 1. I won't spoil any of it for you, but I loved Series 1. It was a great kind of reimagining. Series 2, I'm really struggling with. Struggling with. It's one of those kind of... I was really excited to see where it went. Series 2, I'm kind of like... take it or leave it at the moment. I'm hoping for some big thing to happen, but it's definitely worth... If you haven't seen any of it, definitely watch Series 1. It's really good.
I'm loving the fact that at the moment Disney Plus are pushing Walking Dead. I love the fact that we're seeing the Disney logo with Walking Dead as a thing.
Yeah, because that's coming into... Did you ever read the comic books? Or
I've read the first few, but I never really got massively into it.
See, I went the other way. I bought it as a graphic novel, that first one, because they did them in the volumes, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I actually recently parted with it. I actually sold it on, and I got every single issue, every single volume all the way through, and I couldn't put it down. Literally, as soon as I finished one, I picked up the next, and I absolutely loved it. There was just something so original but familiar about it, if that makes sense. And so therefore the TV show, I was kind of like, I was on board with it. I was really enjoying the TV show. Like, it had its flaws, didn't it? Like, you know, Daryl not being an actual character in the comic book and stuff like that. But there were certain bits, like, you know, the whole thing with Glenn and Negan, and it was just, I can't remember the last time a TV show left me speechless like that episode did.
Yeah.
And I think just because of that, I've stayed committed to it, and I've kind of followed it through. But then you had the Fear the Walking Dead come out as well, and now they've... do you like that one? Or
I like The Walking Dead just because it's more about you. We always see these films after the zombie apocalypse has taken over. I like the fact that Fear the Walking Dead is about the build up to the takeover.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, it's from the ground up, and I like that. The fact that the army don't know what to do. They've got people in these little communities and things, and the government's trying to do something, but it can't. And I love that kind of stuff.
See, I really enjoyed it. But now it's at the stage where it's kind of at the same place.
Crossing
if
over.
That makes sense. Yeah, and you've got Morgan, Carousel. So I'm kind of into it. And obviously with Walking Dead, we've got the final series coming up, haven't we? So I'm committed, and I want to see what happens with like the Commonwealth and stuff. And the ending of the comic book for me was just people would disagree, but for me it was just perfect. Like, the way that it ended was just brilliant, based on the story arcs of these characters we had read. But they can't do what they did in the comic in the series because of the different paths they've gone. Yeah. And it's, I don't know.
Plus, I think it would make it to, as much as it would appease the comic nerds, it would, the spoilers would be all over the internet. People would already know the ending. It's like Game of Thrones. They can't make the ending to the books the same as the ending to the TV series. They have to do something different to keep it fresh for TV.
No. Well, like, obviously, because Carl is a massive part in the comic books, and obviously right through to the final pages, and he's gone. So it's kind of like, you know, but then there's talk of a movie as well, isn't there? Like a rich movie. Like, I'm committed. I'm a Walking Dead fan. I'm committed. I'll see it through. But yeah, it's seeing that
TV series. The TV series has ruined the name Carl for me, because every time someone says it, in my head I just hear it going, "Oh!" That dodgy American accent he does.
It is that kind of in your face as well, isn't it? When he gets down, oh! I love it. You are right. You know, I hadn't actually thought about it, but seeing Disney and Walking Dead next to each other just
it's weird.
It even crossed over with Fortnite at one point. I don't know how clued up you are with your Fortnite, but they had like
they had Michonne and Daryl, didn't there? As Daryl?
Yeah, Michonne and Daryl Dixon showed up in Fortnite, and like my son who was playing Fortnite at the time was like, "Oh, Dad, look, he's the guys from Walking Dead." I was like, "What? What? No, like this? How? Like
ridiculous?" Because they've had Alien, they've had Predator, they've had Terminator, they've had everything in front. Yeah. Like, anything that they can make people pay for, they will do.
I hands up. My son brought me into it, and I played it to death when it was the Marvel crossover, and I loved it. And me and my boy were playing it loads, and the Fortnite Marvel crossover I absolutely loved. I even stuck with it for a little while when Mando came into it, but then I kind of just fell off the rail. I was like, oh no.
See, I never liked the original idea of Fortnite, but since they introduced the team deathmatchy sort of game where like, I hate the fact that it took me 20 minutes to get into a game, get all my loot, and then get sniped from halfway across the map by some kid. That irritated me. So, like, I can't do this anymore. I'm too old. But when they released the team deathmatch version, and you just keep coming back for like 20 minutes, I can play. I can pick that up while I'm kind of working and stuff. So, I can pick that up and have a quick 20-minute game in between doing something.
Yeah, of course.
And it's just a quick game, which I love. So I like that. The fact that I don't have to keep the start of the process over and over and over.
So the funny thing is, like obviously, it's like my son could run rings around me on Fortnite, and he's like, "Oh, you're not a gamer." So I was like, I got the Mega Drive out. I was like, "Beat Sonic with 3 lives, mate, and then come and talk to me." It's like, no, I can't get past this bit. Yeah, where's my continue? Don't have one, mate. And if you get past that, I'll get the Turtles out on the Commodore 64. See if you can beat that. That's gaming, mate. But yeah, so mate. But I think that's about it this week, Sorrel. Yep, I can't think of anything else massive. It's been a bit of a just a chat about different stuff, hasn't it? I've quite enjoyed it this week. I think next week will be a good one. Obviously, we'll have the Marvel stuff hopefully to talk about. Yeah.
Hopefully, we might see a few Star Warsy drops. Hoping for them.
I think so. I think they're going to be dropping stuff all the way up to the HasCon thing.
Mm-hmm. And then as well, because they've kind of spoken about. I know you're not massively into the other stuff, but they have spoken a lot about Marvel and Star Wars recently. I'm hoping for some more news on the new Fortnite line, G.I. Joe, Power Rangers.
Well, speaking of Fortnite, the only one that we've actually seen is Snake Eyes, haven't we? Because obviously that film's the trailer's out, and that's obviously around the corner. So that's the only real one that we've seen, I think.
Yeah, they gave us some just renders and the game renders of the characters they're going to make, and some of the ideas they've got are brilliant.
Yeah, see, I'd be hugely behind having a Mando, Iron Man, Thor, all those characters in a Fortnite packaging, because they were slightly different. The characters did look slightly different, didn't they? So I'll get behind that. That.
The best part is for Hasbro, that would be a good thing to do, because it's just a repaint of a figure for them.
Can you imagine repainting the Mando figure, an Iron Man figure, like the Snake Eyes, and then having a wave
in the same line?
That would be insane. And then just throw in a Predator and an Alien just for the Terminator, just for the hell of it. Just why not?
Well, Marvel have got the rights for Alien and Predator now.
Yes.
So technically, it could even happen if if they allow. I know NECA have the distribution rights, but still, they could do it in certain territories, I think.
I still think we're going to see a day where it's just Hasbro and Disney. They're just running the world. I tell you what, I'll save this for another time. But I still think that one day it's just going to be Hasbro and Disney just hand in hand running it all, because they're all falling under line, aren't they? They're falling in line.
You're making me hear the evil Mickey voice from South Park in my head now. Sing, God damn you!
Amazing. Right. Well, on that one then, Sorrel, let's round it up. So obviously, if you have enjoyed the show, please do like, share and subscribe. Of course, down in the description, go and check out Super Sorrel's channel and give him a follow if you don't already. Guy pushes out some amazing content, if I can say so myself. And we will be back here same time next week. Until then, keep it geek.
Oh, yeah.